Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we are gonna do a different kind of video here, reaction, right? It's a video from StarvHarv. The channel is called StarvHarv. I think I like the concept. It's pretty weird, but still I think it works. It's destroying the 19th century history with bad translations. So I mean that's a pretty cool concept, right? Because sometimes in translation the things that you're trying to say get lost, right? Because different words mean different things, or one word in one language means different things in another language depending on context, right? Alright, original videos down below. Let's see what this is.
I took Wikipedia's timeline of the 19th century and ran it through Google Translate using languages with the worst translation quality. This was the result. 1801. Alexander Hamilton marched that night with the Confederate Army to New York City for the news. New York is that dangerous that they need an army just to get a newspaper.
I think this is because, I mean, you would want to know what they're actually talking about. So 1801. I mean, I know Alexander Hamilton started, I don't know what postal service, I don't know if it was the New York Times he started or New York Post. It might be New York Post. But I don't know if it was 1801. Might have been. And I don't know, Confederate Army. Okay. I don't know.
The Second World War in Latin and French by Aboukir. 1802, the Franco-British alliance ended after World War II.
I think it ended. I don't think it ever ended. Sometimes in like the 60s or something, the French left NATO for a while, but this is 1802, and this is amidst of the Napoleonic Wars, right? So, or Napoleon is still first consul here, but so they would have been one of the biggest adversaries, rivals, enemies, right?
It was written by Ludwig van Beethoven months ago.
One thing though about Beethoven there, my previous video on what happened December 8th, Beethoven wrote, I think it was the 7th Symphony, a part of it, on his opening to give charity to veterans of, I don't know, remember which battle it was, but it's the battle where the Bavarians and some Austrian troops tried to stop Napoleon from entering France after Leipzig, right? So I mean, there is a Beethoven connection there, right?
1803. The war between England and France was again carried on. Then he returned to the Napoleonic Wars. William Symington described the Charlotte Dunn as the first working ship.
Working ship?
It's about time. When France bought the Louisiana Territory in North America, it was nearly twice the size of the United States. The Pacific...
I mean, one thing... I mean, they might getting it confused. Obviously, the US bought the Louisiana Territory, right? But during the second coalition or third coalition, Napoleon got the Louisiana Territory back from the Spaniards, because Spain got that territory when France lost the 7 Years' War, and obviously they didn't control the entire territory. They just probably controlled New Orleans, right? Because that's a pretty big territory, right? But you know, Napoleon had to sell off. He needed money.
Ocean, later called Destiny, reached the western parts of the United States. And also includes the United States and Mexico. When was it called Destiny? I must have missed that.
Manifest Destiny is probably right.
Accordingly, the steam engine was first used. I take morphine.
Was it? I take morphine. Was the first steam engine used in what? No. Maybe. I don't know actually.
Beethoven's Eroica Third Symphony marks the beginning of the Middle Ages.
Right. Beginning of the Middle Ages.
1805, Game 3 in France.
Game 3 probably would be the Third Coalition, right? I think so, right?
1806, Napoleon named his brother King of Naples. It was given to him by Joseph Bonaparte, the brother of Louis Bonaparte, King of Belgium. 1807, UK-US attacks Slavic trade. The Treaty of Tilsit sent Napoleon into Eastern Europe. He became the last player of Borussia. Leaving Copenhagen, he took the ships of the Danish fleet.
I mean, what is this he? But I mean, it's the Brits that did that, right? They attacked the Copenhagen, right?
Humphrey Davy destroyed potassium and sodium.
Wow.
It's gone. The elements are gone.
Didn't he invent those?
1808, the Gulf War participated. 1809,
oh, it started now.
Napoleon accepted his son as Pope, Roman Empire.
I think his son was like King of Rome or some kind of title he got, right? Not Pope, I don't think, but like King of Rome or some prestigious title like
Every
that.
time it's Rome. Pope Pius captured Napoleon and bound him to the River Aire.
I think that's the reverse. I think Napoleon captured or took hostage the Pope.
1810,
but okay.
He took the floor.
Okay.
Like a dance routine. 1812, Britain has many economic problems. True.
Yeah.
It was a bad year for Radet's party.
What?
1814, Elisha Collier founded the Rolling Stones. 1815, Europe can consolidate its power and strength at the Vienna Conference. The European side is trying to find out if this is true or not. It's probably not. Liberal forces and government have changed for the better. In 1914, peace began in England.
Wow.
100 days later, Napoleon won the Battle of Waterloo. Victory at the end of the Napoleonic Wars. He won.
There you go.
GG. He's won.
He won.
1816. American freedom.
Yeah.
Not a DJ. Just in case you thought he was. 1817. A legal battle began in Florida. Prince Charles died shortly after his birthday. 1818. Mary Shelley tells the story of Frankenstein. Pure freedom.
Yeah, freedom.
1821. Destruction of Turks in Navarre. 1823. After the Anglo-Burmese War, the British occupied Burma, now Africa. 1825.
What?
Aluminum pipe. This is the 3rd day of December in Russia. It's the whole year. 1826. After the last Russo-Persian War, Russia defeated the Persian Empire.
Okay.
Who will lose the game first?
Oh.
Russia. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Extermination was banned in Ottoman Germany.
Oh, okay.
Anybody knows extermination, it's Ottomans and Germans. 1828, the Tasmanian War darkens Tasmania. Prime Minister Robert Peel decided to deny the freedoms of religion to British citizens, saying that the protections were weak. 1829, who invented the first electric car?
That's the important question.
Is it?
I mean, that is an important question because you can always pinpoint to the famous person who invented the first thing, right? Like Thomas Edison with the light bulb. But he didn't invent the light bulb. He just made it better, right? More usable. Commercialized it, right? Who invented the first electric vehicle? I mean, it would be pretty expensive and you probably couldn't use it for that long. And people made it. This is crazy, right? Somehow people are connected, right? Because people in, let's say, the US and in Europe, Africa, and Asia, some scientists and mathematicians can think of the same equation just differently and get the same result, right? A guy can work on an electric car in US and at the same time in France, right? And both can be credited. Oh, you invented it first, but I was first to patent it or whatever, right? That's how crazy that is, but okay.
Is it the second war between Russia and Turkey? Is it? 1830. Congress passed the Secession Act, which allowed Mesopotamian leaders east of the Mississippi to make peace with the natives. Are there any Mesopotamian leaders east of the Mississippi?
I don't think
Greater
so.
Columbia was opened, and the District of Columbia was replaced by the District of Columbia, now Panama. Ecuador and Venezuela? Question mark. You tell me.
What?
In November, Poland rebelled against Russia. These are not. I told him about the last battle that took place in Yogyakarta and Sakata, 1831, 2 days after the terrorist attack on Nathaniel and his associates in Southampton, Virginia, on the August 22nd. Charles Darwin's Greyhound mission. The dog. The Gauls attacked the Albans. Capodestra, the first king of Greece, was killed by Napoleon. Didn't he die?
Napoleon is dead.
Didn't he die?
Yeah.
Cherokee Sheriff John Ross is Cherokee and Irish, Georgian American.
What does that mean?
He did one of those like 23andMe's. He just found out. He defended the rights and freedom of the Cherokee in the Supreme Court.
Okay.
In 1830, where 5 million Irish died. State of America.
State of... The potato famine rages on, right? In Ireland, right? 1830? I think so, but also... No, what? Maybe it began a little bit, but it's like in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, it really gets going and people are moving to the US, right? To New York and all that.
1833, slavery was abolished in England. Thanks be to God.
Yeah.
1834, he became a prisoner under British law. What did he do? Who knows?
He was a slave owner, maybe.
1836, when Samuel Colt approached the woman and pulled a gun. Colt Patterson said nothing and shot her 6 times. What?
Did he?
Instead of inventing the revolver or popularizing the revolver, he just shot a woman.
Maybe he should be in prison.
1837, to the people. Queen Victoria was the most powerful monarch in England. Complete. Money.
I don't think she was, though. Was she? When I say powerful, because they have a constitutional monarchy, so even though the empire is the vastest, I think, under her, but she doesn't have the same power as, say, Henry VIII, right? Edward III or something like that, right? So, I don't know.
Money is an intellectual property.
Is it?
Copyright infringing on my money. 1838, Guatemala.
Well, one thing about that, though, I think during I think it's during the Revolutionary War in the US, the Brits were trying to devalue the continental money, right, that the colonies had, by just printing them out or just making more of it and just giving it away, right? So, I mean, there's a sort of copyright thing there, right?
El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica fought each other during the American Civil War.
It hasn't even started. What?
1839, France after the First and Second Opium Wars. The Qing dynasty destroyed England. The United States and Russia have agreed on trade and concessions with China. China won so well. It's like amazing.
Yeah. Nice.
1841, Richard turns the word dinosaur into a word for Owen.
Who's Owen? Was this the first time they used the word dinosaur? 1841. Maybe that would be pretty cool.
Who's Owen? William Henry Harrison, the first president of the United States, died. 1844.
I think wasn't he the first to die in office? Maybe. I don't know. I think he was.
The grandfather meets Perseus and tells the king why.
What?
Why?
When was this?
Has revealed to the world. He is considered the leader of the Baha'u'llah and the founder of the Baha'i faith. Dream. Nice. Thousands of people are waiting for the coming of Jesus Christ.
Yep.
His recovery was called the Great
Second Coming.
On May 24th,
nice.
The world's first telegraph.
I mean, Great Depressions are not a common thing, but it happened, right? but it wasn't the Great Depression, right? Because there were multiple, especially when you talk about the US. Multiple depressions, right? But at that time, because if you're in the 1840s and a depression hits, that's the Great Depression because that's greater than any else depression up to that point, right?
Between East Timor and the United States.
Was
Where else
it?
would the world's first telegraph
I don't
be?
think it was.
What is God doing? All good things.
Yeah.
There's a very Christian faith to this article. Nautilus is here. Mr. Wang signed an agreement.
Mr.
between
Wang?
the United States and China. Who's Mr. Wang?
Is he an ambassador?
1846, Oregon is the United States. Oregon signed the Treaty of Vienna. Parts of Idaho and Wyoming and Montana ceded to the United States. It's all Oregon now. After the Mexican-American War, Wilmot was criticized in the West for ending slavery.
Oh no.
1847.
But I mean, the Mexican-American War was partially because of slavery in Texas, right? Right? Because Mexico ended slavery, but Texas didn't want to end slavery, so they fought and the US backed them, and then Texas became independent, and then they came to the US, right?
Samuel Wise told Enac to wash his hands so he wouldn't be questioned.
Makes sense.
What kind of questions are going on here? What's he got on his hands? John of the Air wrote the Bronte sisters.
What?
1848. It can be found in the communist language. In 1848,
what does that mean?
Something new happened.
Yeah.
Good people.
I'm gonna do a video on 1848 because that's a very interesting year, right? Revolutions all over Europe. People are very upset about the monarchs, right? And this is a sort of a second, not French Revolution, but it's a second revolution to sort of diminish the power of monarchies, absolute monarchies, right? I'm gonna do a video. I think Epic History TV has a video on that.
Run away. What happened? Why won't they tell us? 1849, the first air mission was launched with 200 missiles on a message to the Vulcan Air Force. The Constitution of the Roman Republic was the first law which established the death penalty. The first amendment to the Roman Republic Constitution, death. There are seatbelts and airbags. Nice.
Where?
1850, the Ice Age is over.
Is it?
1851, Australia. 1854, move to avoid wires and light. 1856, the first oil was produced in Romania. Neanderthals know the time.
I think this is a pretty cool. I don't know if it's 1856, but I think this is. I don't know if it's in Romania we found the first Neanderthal and sort of could calculate when they were living. But I think it was at this time. This is also a pretty cool historical nugget, right? Same with first use of the word dinosaur. Right? That's cool.
1857. The Indian Rebellion of 1857. British Empire closes the East. Joseph Whitworth invented the first gun. What about the gun that was used to shoot the woman? What was that? The origin of seeds. Charles Darwin. Is that real? It's origin of species, but it's just about seeds. How do seeds work? 1861. The American Civil War between the Confederate and Confederate armies.
Wow. What?
1862. It was done with horses. France is the first country in South Asia. True. 1863. The President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, declared his independence on September 22nd.
Okay.
Duong Multy's Grass Day painting is truly amazing. All right. 1864, March 21st. Liar. The Chincha War was an attempt to invade the American colonies of southern Spain. Spain has lost so bad that they're now being colonized. 1865.
Sure.
America reinvents itself.
Yeah.
1866. After
can
the
say that.
Prussian-Austrian War, the German alliance collapsed, leaving Germany in the north and Hungary in the south. 1867. Alfred Nobel is the inventor of sulfur. He just invented
No,
sulfur.
he's not.
Isn't that
What?
naturally occurring? Can he claim this? In 1878, he traveled around the world.
Wow.
1868. Congratulations. The famous Cro-Magnons. Where's Cro-Magnons? No, it's Cro-Magnons now. Do you know about
That's
the
also
famous
cool.
Cro-Magnons? 1870. The Franco-Prussian War unites Germany and Italy. Both kingdoms fell in glory. The Hansen ball was designed by Rasmus Mulling Hansen and was the first commercial ball.
What?
What?
I guess so then.
1871. Otto von Bismarck challenged the interest of the Catholic Church during the Civil War in Germany. Industrial Revolution 2, finally. Japan's feudal system collapsed. Henry Morton meets Stanley David. Lake Tanganyika is home to crocodiles. Nice. In 1873, the panic began.
Right.
You can see yellow and blue shirts.
So the panic, I think, is another Great Depression, right?
True.
In the
German
US, I
war
think
began
only.
in the blood of Acre.
Uh-oh.
It's violent. It's like Elden Ring law. 1876. Queen Victoria became Miss India.
Empress of India.
Richard Wagner's ring is the first sacred ring.
Uh-oh.
Henry
Lord of
McCarthy,
Rings.
later Billy the Kid, kills Franklin Cahill, the first black man.
What? What does that
Largest
mean?
Train station in the United States. Dead horse. Asphalt Monday is shown on Tuesday.
What?
What is Asphalt Monday? Happy Asphalt Monday, everyone. 1879, Belgium was involved in the political conflict that led to World War
Oh, they were involved. Oh, okay.
1881, P. Alexander the Great
What?
died.
Oh
The
no!
destruction of the Russian Empire has begun. Enjoy Chamba Guerrilla di Toro. 3 deep and a tank were discovered in Godalming, England.
A tank.
What is 3 deep and a tank? Sounds like a sitcom. 1883, the hat is ready. Krakatoa is the largest volcano in the world. And
Is
the
it?
tallest tower built by Thomas Edison. He's taking
Wow.
credit for Krakatoa now. 1884, the effectiveness of the Berlin Wall appears. The European slave trade was encouraged abroad.
Oh.
The first electric car was built by Thomas Parker in Wolverhampton. Nice.
Was
Hiram
it?
Maxis was the first man to write machine music. What is machine music?
What?
You listen to machine music at all? The singer began to beat the table and his clothes loudly. Okay, no it wasn't. 1886, the Statue of Liberty was created by Coca-Cola Java. I'm not having this misinformation.
I mean, it was created by the French, right? And it didn't look like that green, right?
1889,
Just rusted.
The mail-in case. Prince Rudolph and Baroness Marie of Austria. In this story, the old man is killed.
I mean, I think this is Prince Rudolph who either killed his mistress and then killed himself because he was depressed or something. He's the son, I think, of was the son of the king of or emperor of Austria-Hungary. He lived to like the 1917. He's the younger son, I think. But either he killed himself and his mistress, or killed his mistress then himself, or they just killed themselves in a suicide pact. Right? It's one of those, right?
What a good story. 1890. Today, salt is distributed through Europe and America.
Oh, good.
They still use the electric chair. Okay.
Was this the time when Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla or Thomas Edison used the electrical chair. Right? Might have been. I don't know.
Vincent van Gogh died. Oh, sorry. Vincent van Gogh died. I
Oh,
saw
yeah.
in the box. After the overthrow of Kaiser Wilhelm, German President Otto von Bismarck made a policy that opposed Bismarck's ideas and policies.
Wouldn't that be better that Bismarck was in power and not Wilhelm II, right? Maybe we wouldn't have World War One, right? And then World War Two.
1891.
Perhaps.
Leo XIII, Pontifex Maximus, Apostle of God.
Wow, that's cool. There's, in my previous video, he is in a video and he's in a photo, right? This guy in I don't know when it was, 1890, 1880s, whatever, right? That's cool.
Defender of the First Fair Society. 1892.
Okay.
Football stadium. Fingerprint recognition is first used.
Is
What's
it?
your name? What is it?
Maybe.
What's your date of birth? What's your mother's maiden name? 1895. Dated in Japan during the First Sino-Japanese War. F. 1896. The Athens Olympic Games are approaching. Henry Becquerel and Marie Curie are known. J.J. Thompson does not have an email address. If you wanted to get in touch, I'm sorry. 1897. In 1893, his life ended in a violent attack.
What?
He's always dying. Until like World War II, he was dying constantly. And then he just like, it must have enabled God mode or something. 1898. I also saw Zeppelin LZ. Boxing of the New Chinese. Millennium War begins between liberals and conservatives in Colombia.
Yeah. There's civil war in Colombia, and I don't know if they were called liberals, but they were called conservatives. One side.
The emperor intended to rule China for 11 days. Herbert Wells declares World War II. It's on now, boys.
Okay.
He's allowed to do that. 1899, British victory. I could sum up there. 1800 is pretty simple.
Sure.
More than 1 million people died in Indiana. Damn.
Wow.
1900, Humbert, King of Italy. He invaded the 8 lands of China and took the field.
No way.
That's it. That's the last thing that happened. Wow.
Alright, that was pretty funny, right? And, of course, the translations there were a bit off, right? But you can understand some parts of it, right? You can still understand what the original text was and then how they translated it to their own language and back and forth and all that to get a bad translation, right? That was a cool concept, right? Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!